Hey everybody, let's go ahead and talk about the shoulders a little bit today, being that with the addition of TRXing and with spinning and the forward leaning posture on the spinning, on top of all the other great working out that you do, we're running into a lot of overuse of the shoulders that's causing some pain. So I wanted to review some good exercises that you could do to take care of yourself from home, and then to just give you a little bit more information and exercise reminding you about chin tucks for the neck, because that forward pushing posture, pulling your chin forward, puts a lot of pounds of pressure on your neck from looking at our phones, our computers, and even reading books and whatnot. Just this movement that we don't even understand how far forward we're coming. And I think that wraps it up. So shoulders, particularly the rotator cuff set of muscles in the shoulders. A reminder, or maybe a piece of knowledge if you're not aware, the rotator cuff itself is not a muscle, okay? It is a series of SITS, 4 muscles, okay? So when you say you hurt your rotator cuff, it has to be isolated to which part, which muscle of the rotator cuff, which one of those sits muscles. Okay, so it could be one of the 4 or whatnot. But just so you know, the rotator cuff itself is not the muscle. The muscles that make up the rotator cuff are the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, the teres major, and the subscapularis muscle. Most of them ranging in and attaching in the rear part of the shoulder underneath the surface. Okay, then we've got the deltoid that kind of comes around here. So that's your quick little dirty anatomy lesson, because I know you don't want to watch this video for a half hour. Okay, but a lot of this, you know, forward leaning, poor posture that we exhibit throughout daily activities, on top of a lot of working out, can kind of wreak havoc. So a couple of great regular exercises that you can do at home with minimal resources is great. In some cases you don't even need any equipment, but let me just give them to you. You've all done them here before. So one with a band, scap pulls here, okay, to bring those shoulder blades back and in to their proper position, which is not creeping up and out of the back. The shoulder blades are meant to lay flat on your back in towards your spine. So if you just have a soft elbow, you're pulling that band straight out and squeezing your back as you do so. I do these every morning at home, okay? Another one that we've done, you're saying, oh, you're talking about the back. I thought we were talking about the shoulders. Because a lot of the issues with the shoulders are oftentimes coming from weakness and imbalances in the back and the chest, okay? So some pull downs, straight arms. So if you anchor a band at about shoulder height or a little bit higher, totally fine. Thumbs facing up, and then you're just drawing straight down and back. All right, so you can do all of these exercises for 1 to 2 sets for about 10 reps, all right? From there, another one that you're used to doing is a standing row. Arms fully extended, and then you pull back. Squeeze the muscles in the back, pinching your shoulder blades towards each other, keeping your posture nice and tall. Okay, so then another one directly related to strengthening the rotator cuff is some internal and external rotation. The thing about the shoulder joint is it's very, very dynamic. It moves in every plane of the body, okay? So that's what makes it a little bit more subjected to overuse and sometimes some sort of impingement because of all of the things that it can do and all of the things that we put it through in a given day. So to internally rotate, which is one of the primary movements of the shoulder muscles, you're gonna have a little resistance. You can do this with a dumbbell too, a very light dumbbell. Elbow under shoulder, and then you just pull in and then bring it back to start. Okay, so see that my elbow is not flying away from my side very much. All right, so that's the internal rotation. What you would do to do the external rotation is just rotate your body. You can watch from behind, and you notice that I moved in a little closer to the target because this one is typically a little bit harder, and then you're pulling out. And again, the elbow isn't flying away from the body too much. All right, so from the front on the external rotation, out, in, out, in. From the back with the internal rotation, again, see the elbow is staying fairly stable. All right. So those are two really good ones to help strengthen your shoulders through those rotational movements. From there, I was trying to think of something else that I wanted to show you that I didn't write down. I was jogging my memory, but I'm not remembering now. So those are really like some good particularly awesome exercises that are going to give you a leg up. And then, of course, some stretches that we've done that would be great. I'm going to rotate the camera a little bit. If you come into a little bit of wall space, just bringing your arm up and over your head against the wall. But see how I'm standing away? Because then if you lean into the wall a little bit more, you're going to feel a little bit of a deeper stretch. Okay, so my arm is nice and straight, and I'm just kind of leaning in. I'm feeling that stretch in the shoulder, front of the shoulder, and right down through the lats and the trap. So you can hold that for 30 or so seconds, and then you would just want to flip around and do the other one in the same way. Okay, another one. Great for the shoulder and for the chest. Forearm against the door frame and just walk through. And just hold here. If you have a door frame that's not too wide, you can do both at the same time. But generally, just isolating one at a time is going to be a little bit more effective and mindful for you. So from there, stretching the shoulder capsule, you're going to bring your hand back against your low back, and just seeing if you can hold your hand away from your low back is indicative of one strength measure that we can do in one of the rotator cuff muscles. So you can start with that if you want. Otherwise, you're going to bring that hand to the small of your back. You're going to bring your elbow to the outside of the door frame, and then you're going to kind of walk back, push back against that door frame. And depending on the condition of your shoulders, you may or may not feel this, and you might feel like it's awkward. I had to do this one a lot before I would do it with other people because I really was always feeling like I was doing it wrong. So whatever you do on one side, regardless of the condition of the other side, make sure you do both exercises. So from the back, same thing. I'm leaning against the door frame, and then I'm kind of pushing back into the door frame. Alright, so those are some good stretches. Some overhead stretches, you know, depending on different schools of thoughts, a lot of people don't want you overhead a lot, and we certainly don't want you pumping a lot of really heavy weight overhead because then you're putting your neck at risk in addition to your shoulders. But to be able to lengthen and keep the back muscles lengthened around the spine and the, you know, the lats and the traps, some overhead stretching is great. So I just like to do a little tug on the wrist with a little side bend and just kind of flowing it side to side. Okay, there's plenty of other ways that you could do this too, but that's just one, because you want to keep your muscles long. They want to be long. If they're short, they're going to become tight and weak, and they're going to pull on opposing sides of the body. That's why I keep saying we're going to get taller this year, because we want things to be well lengthened. All right? So I think that that is enough content, enough food for thought. But be mindful, speak up about pain and tension, take down weight, sit out exercises, or ask for some sort of modification. Any pain in the body, but especially shoulder pain, is just a pain. You know, nobody likes it. I've been there. I've done that before. But in most cases, it can be remedied with a healthy, proactive warm-up and some self-guided exercises at home that are just good self-care, and getting early physical therapy or massage attention if that is more your thing, okay? But don't let it linger for months and months and months on end, because you're just going to feel it. It's not going to just go away. You need to actively be part of that repair and recovery. So let me know if you have any questions, and just let us know whenever something you're doing is not quite feeling well, because that's not our intention, and we don't always know what your body is feeling on the inside unless you make some sort of face on the outside. All right, have fun with those exercises.